Hi Already Done friends, it's Grace here. Today I want to talk about the art of playing fast repeated notes. A lot of times these notes go missing, a lot of times it's hard to follow the rhythm. So I want to go over some basic tips and tricks that I show my students. Now, first of all, if you've been around for a while, you've probably heard me talk about the rubber band technique. So what you do is you want to take a rubber band and you want to suspend your wrist on it, and this is the kind of looseness that you want from your wrist. Now, when you're playing, obviously you don't want your wrist flopping around, but you want your wrist to be loose and not locked. If your wrist is locked, there's risk of injury, you get stiff wrists. Over time it might hurt or feel sore, and obviously you can't play as fast when your wrists are locked because you are too tense. So it goes, instead of, you want to go, and it's a loose, gentle action so that you don't strain yourself. Now, once you have and understand how to maintain a loose wrist, the next step is to maintain your fingering. Every time you play the repeated note, you want to use the same fingering so that you get used to it. So there's the classic 3-2-1 fingering. And then there's the non-classic 2-finger fingering. And there's pros and cons to each. In the first one, you might find that your fingers are lighter, you get to play more faster. And it depends where your repeated notes are, and if it's a chord, it might be different. Obviously, you'll be playing the same fingers if it's a repeated chord. Now, the second one, you'll find that it has more power. It gives you a lot more strength when you play it, and it's a different type of feeling. So I can demonstrate. And finally, you want to consider the shape of your melody. You want to make sure that there's spots where you're playing softer and you're growing, or when you're loud and you become softer. And that's going to give your melody or your repeated notes a type of shape, and it's going to help you maintain the repeated notes because you are playing at a different dynamic every time you play that note. It's not the exact same note that is expected out of you. Because of that, when you have inconsistencies, your audience is going to turn out to be much more forgiving when they hear something that's just a little off, because they know that you're not intending to play the same note over and over again. It's a soft one, louder, 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 and then softer, 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 softer. In general, I would stick to a certain type of fingering and make sure that I take only that part out. So I start by playing and gradually play faster and faster when I can nail the little making sure that my wrists are loose enough. And that's it for today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. I do have an email list where I send out exclusive music tips. If you're interested, the link is also below. And if you have any thoughts, any techniques you've tried, I'd love to hear them. Please leave me a comment or an email. I'll talk to you soon. Bye!